Good evening, everyone. Ads here from Unity Trading Group. Welcome to the Tuesday night update. To start us off tonight, hit that like button, tap the subscribe button if you can, and of course, tick the bell to stay updated on all of our content that's coming soon. It's good to be back in front of the charts. We were absent yesterday, unfortunately, but we are here this evening. So what we are doing, we'll have a quick look at BTC, quick look at Ethereum, maybe some XRP, and we'll continue on from there. But BTC, what a ride it has been down from our rising wedge formation that we discovered or spoke about last week. Since then, we've retested that formation and then continued towards the downside to the most notable level of demand, which I've drawn in blue. Since that time, however, we have broken through this level twice, and we have eaten away most of the demand level that sits or resides around 44,000 for BTC. So what can we expect to happen from here? If we are following the close rules of supply and demand states, or any sort of movement throughout these zones in general, would designate a fall, or we would be expecting a fall or a rise, depending on if we're looking at a demand or supply. But we would be expecting a fall towards our $40,000 or $39,000 level of demand. Now, interestingly enough, this level of demand that we are finding ourselves just underneath the price that we're at, designated with this red candle just in the middle there, is on a market pivot point that is more significant than what we're at now. So the reason why I've drawn the one we've got in there now at 44,000 is there was a significant pause in the market at that point, and then we had two further retests to the right hand side to give us validation on whether that zone exists or not. And of course it does exist, but we have broken through it now. The most notable level from here is around that 39,000, and we could probably get some levels of Fibonacci to line up quite nicely if we are going to try and cross-reference this level. So if we draw from, there we go, and we are just shy of the negative 27 on the demand level. And of course, if we're putting on Gravy Train, if you want to find out more about Gravy Train, of course, the link is down below in the description. Gravy Train is designating this area to be valid as well, with some support resting, down here, with some support resting at that level, and you can see the cloud being respected at that point. So there's a couple of things we need to discuss, however, if it's going to come to fruition, if we're actually going to get to this 39,000 level of demand. Currently speaking, we are trending below the 50 RSI, which is an okay sign to say that we would possibly head down towards that level. However, we are at the 41 area, and even if I would be calling this, or even if I would be looking at the RSI, we still have way more than enough room to head to the downside, and that could facilitate that movement down. The only thing that's contradicting this point is our steamroller indicator, and we've seen in the past it can stay oversold for quite some time. So look, it's definitely a possibility that we could see 39,000 for BTC. However, I'm more expecting a bounce to really give us that oversold bounce, to really confirm if we are going to head down or head up. Something like this needs to happen, in my opinion. So we've seen this happen down through our level of demand. I'm looking at something like this. If we do get a scenario of this fashion where we are oversold now, we do have an oversold bounce, or a dead cat bounce, should they say, to our 38.2, our 50, or even our 61 level to really confirm a movement down, or a lower high scenario. So we've got a lower low, could have a lower high, and then a continuation down towards and make another lower low at around 39. Even so, we could come up as far as the 61.8 at 52.9 or 52.950 to really still be in that lower high territory. What needs to happen now, however, is if we are to recover, from here and then move back up to our all-time high, this is the area that we really need to break. Because if we are seemingly coming back up to this point and making a double top or making another lower high, then it could be pretty dire for the overall trend. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Let's focus on what we're looking at in front of us. Another thing to really consider at the moment is a very sharp falling wedge scenario. So it's basically the opposite of the rising wedge. Rising wedge we tend to break down. Falling wedge we tend to break to the upside. So this could break upwards. We could test our 38, our 50 and 61 and then make a decision on the market direction based on what happens around those Fibonacci levels. Anyway, enough on BTC. I've ranted, or not ranted, I've gone through enough. Let's have a look at Ethereum. So ETH, there was a seemingly very easy one to find, the head and shoulders at the top of that movement there. We have seemingly broken through that neckline in my opinion, and we are testing the 50 Fibonacci drawn from the overall swing low to the swing high if we're looking at drawing from left to right. So we are in crucial areas for ETH, and we have broken through the level of demand, of course, here. So for Ethereum, there is, in my opinion, only one place for it to go, and it is looking like the 61 or even that level of demand is that place at 29 or even 3,000 pretty much evenly. You can see on the right hand side there of the screen. If we are to move to the upside to test some liquidity for a further movement down to create a lower high, if we are to see that for Ethereum, we are looking at the 3,800 mark, around that area of the 23.6 Fibonacci level, and seemingly enough, a very short-term level of supply resides around the same area for Ethereum. So looking like we might get the retest, but the 61 or even our level at 3K looking like a valid scenario at this point. But if we're looking at steamroller or even gravy train, we could be looking like the 23.6 could be a viable area for a bounce to the upside. Next, we'll have a look at XRP. So XRP essentially isn't doing a whole lot in the sense of the USD pairs. This is the XRP USD pair. And interestingly enough, we have made a lower high. So lower low, lower high, and of course we are creating that sort of movement now. Are we going to move to the upside or invalidate this movement and create another higher high? We will find out. But if we're taking in the Fibonacci retracement from swing high to swing low and looking at the retest, we tested the 78 with no avail. And of course, we are now testing the 61. So tonight, coming into tomorrow night, which is Wednesday Melbourne time, will definitely tell the tale on what happens with XRP over the next little bit. But it looks like we are getting stuck on the 61, and it might take a little bit more volume that we are currently seeing, not a whole lot, to really push this towards the 78.6 again for another test of that Fibonacci level. Moving on, tonight we'll have a look at the DXY. It is a regulated market. This is not financial advice, just ideas and opinions of us here at UTG. 89.78 is where we're at currently. This is a very strong pivot point, so it is a high quality level of demand, and we are moving through this now. And the only thing that really speaks to me with the US dollar index is that the more downside is more than likely on the cards. And I say that because it is a higher quality level of demand, because we haven't retested it once, and we are moving through this zone in the low volume period of the market. So the US is still not active currently. We are waiting a few hours for that to happen. So it does seem like we'll see the next level at 89.14 be tested, and that coincides nicely with our 61.8. We'll have a look at this over the next couple of days, and I expect the negative 27.2 at 89.5 to really have some effect on the market and give us a little bit of hold up. But in the overall trend, I would expect this to continue to slip at around 89.15. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Thank you all to all of our new subscribers, everyone that's joining the Discord. Welcome to the conversation. If you haven't joined us already, you can find the link down below. Have a look at Gravy Train. It is worth it. We do have a 30% discount code if you follow the link below and enter Gravy Baby in the checkout. I'm Ads from UTG, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.